Assalamualaikum and hi to all of the panel members. So today, me and my research partner would like to present our research paper. Which is a study on the effectiveness of Occupational Safety and Health Act in the manufacturing area in Bandar Baru Bangi. So first and foremost, I would like to introduce myself, Ahmad Syamil Faid bin Samsul Kamal, and my research partner, which is Megat Ahmad Rusdan bin Megat Rohaizat. Okay, to start off, I would give a brief introduction on our research paper. Occupational safety and health are two important things that needed to ensure by all employees, whether they work in the public or the private sector. So the focus of occupational safety is the elimination of condition or situation that have the potential to cause injury. Meanwhile, occupational health is a branch of preventive measure that links employee health with its employment and the impact of work on employee health and welfare. So to add, the objective of OSHA is to ensure the safety, health, and welfare of employees who are exposed to the risk, safety, or health arising from their employment activities, to protect people in the workplace other than workers who are at risk of safety or health risk, and to promote a comfortable and healthy work environment for employees and adapted to their psychological needs. However, various of methods and action that have been taken are still not effective to reduce or prevent accidents at work. Okay, next I will be moving on the problem statement. So there is no denying that the industry sector can have a positive impact on the national economy. Even with the addition of this sector, they can also provide employment opportunities to the community. So therefore, the increase in manpower in this sector makes their safety very vulnerable to the risk in carrying out work, especially in operating machines. Such risks include the risk of being stuck between objects, falling, slipping, colliding, and the risk of the machine to be explode and burn. So this is why OSHA is established. However, after OSHA was introduced, there were still some serious accidents among factory workers. The Department of Occupational Safety and Health, they have released occupational accident statistics by sector until the November 2020. Okay, the highest occupational accident was recorded by the manufacturing sector, which is why we had chosen this topic, the effectiveness of OSHA in the manufacturing industry. After that, for the research question and research objective, we have identified 5 questions for the research question and 4 objective for the research objective. As for the research question, the first one is the Occupational Safety and Health Act effective? Second one is how Occupational Safety and Health Act can reform. The third one is what are the functions of Department of Occupational Safety and Health. The fourth one is what are the factors influencing the effectiveness of Occupational Safety and Health Act. And the last one is what is the level of job satisfaction among the workers in the manufacturing sector. Okay, for the research objective, the first one is to study the effectiveness of occupational safety and health practices in the manufacturing sector. The second one is to determine the implementation of Occupational Safety and Health Act and the function of Department of Occupational Safety and Health. Okay, so the third one is to identify the factors that influences the effectiveness of Occupational Safety and Health Act, and the last one is to evaluate the job satisfaction level of workers in the manufacturing sector.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Have a good day to all. My name is Gamash Damim Karawizat. I will be presenting about conceptual framework of this research paper. There are 3 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. So the first independent variable is the influence of training toward effectiveness of OSHA. According to Michael in 2014, the influence of training can give an impact toward the individual competency. Successful training can make workers to recognize and evaluate the job risk, and it is vital to the protections of workers. So for these independent variables, the hypothesis will be H0. There is a no significant relationship between training and effectiveness of OSHA. And for the H1 will be there is a significant relationship between training and effectiveness of OSHA. For the second independent variable is a workplace environment. According to Zafir in 2006, working conditions or environments and workload are the main causes of workers experiencing stress in the workplace and contribute to accidents and mental issues. So for this independent variable, the hypothesis will be H0. There is no significant relationships between workplace environments and the effectiveness of OSHA. And for the H1 will be there is a significant relationships between workplace environments and effectiveness of OSHA. Then the third independent variable is knowledge. Not so highly argued in her past research in 2018, where to make improvement to the effectiveness of the safety policy, the level of employee safety knowledge also need to be constantly improved. So for this independent variable, the hypothesis will be H null is there is no significant relationship between knowledge and effectiveness of OSHA, and for the H1 will be there is a significant relationship between knowledge and effectiveness of OSHA. So I continue with the research methodology. First of all, for the research design, we have choose quantitative survey study for our research design, whereby it can help us to collect a large amount of data or the generalizations of data to be achieved. For the unit of analysis, of course, the study of our paper will be focusing on the relationship of training, workplace environment, and knowledge toward OSHA effectiveness, where the unit of analysis will be the individual from the manufacturing workers in Bandar Baru Bangi. For the sample size, we have chosen 200 respondents to be our sample size, and for the sampling technique, we have chosen to use a non-probability sampling. That is because it will be easier to find a respondent for the survey. For the data measurements, we have chosen a Likert scale as our scale measurements, whereby it will be labeled 1 to 5, which is 1 is mean for strongly disagree and 5 is mean strongly agree. For the data collections, there are consists of 5 sections, which is section A stands for demographic profile that have 7 questions regarding the profile of respondent itself. Section B, which is training, this question consists 8 questions. This section contains questions that measure against the training provided in their workplace. Section C is about workplace environments. These sections also consist 8 questions that measure employee satisfactions toward their workplace environments. Then is section D, which is knowledge. This section is to examine the employee's level of knowledge related to OSHA. Section E is about effectiveness of OSHA. This section is to measure the level of compliance with the OSHA requirement in the workplace. Last but not least, for the data analysis, in our research paper, we have chosen person correlations and also multiple regressions. So I will proceed with the research finding. In research finding, there will be a demographic profile. So for the first aspect for demographic profile, we will gender. In this study, the most of the 139 respondents will be male and 61 respondents will be female. In this study also, most of the respondents were 21 to 30 years old, which is 78 respondents, and 61 respondents were 31 to 40 years old. Besides that, the respondent was 40 to 50 years old is 44 respondents, and respondent were 51 years old and above is 9. Furthermore, other than that, in this study also it can be shown that 141 of respondent involved is Malays, followed by 32 respondent of Indian people, while the Chinese people is 27 pupils. Next is working period. 71 respondents were already work for 2 years. Then the 52 respondents have worked for 6 years, and 51 respondents worked for 4 years. Meanwhile, respondents who worked for 6 years were 26 people. For the field of work, based on the data collection, it showed the majority of the respondents in this study were operator, which is 88 respondents. Management and production work field got the same score, which is 47 respondents, and a total of 18 respondents will be technicians. Next, the total employee attendance score for health and safety training is that the majority of respondents have attended training, which is 172 respondents, and some others have never attended training, which is as many as 28 respondents. Last but not least, for the amount of training the employee has ever attended, 12 respondents follow only 1 time of training, 48 respondents follow 3 times of training, and respondents who attend the training for 4 times will be 33 respondents, and 5 times will be 14 respondents. The respondent who follow the training 6 times only got 7 respondents, while respondent who follow the training for 7 and 8 times got the same score, which is 3 respondents. Most of the respondents have attended the training 2 times, which is a total of 52 pupils and percentage of 26%. Then we go to the main finding. The first objective, we use a percent correlations and get the result. R value is 0.698 and P value is 0.00, and the hypothesis alternative 1 is accepted and reject H null. For the second objective, that is the relationship of workplace environments and effectiveness of OSHA. The result show that there is a positive relationship between workplace environments and effectiveness of OSHA, where R value is 0.607 and P value is 0.000. So we accept hypothesis alternative 2 and reject the H null 2. For the second objective, it shows there is a positive relationship between employee knowledge and effectiveness of OSHA, where the value of R generated is 0.0770 and P value is 0.000. For the hypothesis, we reject H null and accept the hypothesis alternative 3. And the last is we use a multiple regressions, and the result is R squared is 0.632. Since the significant probability value is 0.000, so it's strong enough to signify that all the factors of training, workplace environments, and employee knowledge significantly affect effectiveness of Occupational Safety and Health Act. Employee knowledge is a predictive factor to the effectiveness of OSHA, where beta value is higher than other factors, which is 0.511. And the P value is 0.000. Can be understood that by ensuring employees' knowledge it is important and has a positive impact toward the effectiveness of Occupational Safety and Health Act.
I will continue on the future recommendation. Okay, the first future recommendation is to provide a consultancy service. The way that OSHA can help to improve the worker safety is by giving consultancy services to the business, particularly small and medium-sized businesses that are looking to reduce potential dangers in their workplace. Small businesses face less incentive and resources to remove workplace risks than larger businesses. This is due to the cost of workers' compensation, insurance, and a lack of expert staff. This is why giving a consultancy service is ideal for small and medium businesses. Okay, the next recommendation is OSHA to examine organization regularly. OSHA should examine any factories or company regularly to ensure that all of the company or factories follow all of the Safety and Health Act that have been established by them. Okay, Occupational Safety and Health Administration inspector visit barely 1% of all workplaces in the United States each year, according to a report that is released by the Center for Effective Government. In the absence of inspection, this means that individual workers bear a greater share of the responsibility for reporting workplace safety violations. With OSHA examining organization regularly, it will help to the risk of health and safety in the workplace to be reduced.
So I will continue with the limitation of the study. Okay, for the first limitation is unconscientious response. The result of the questionnaire may be a little doubtful as a respondent tend not to answer the question correctly. In most cases, people will rush to answer a question that has been asked before they finish reading the questions they have said, and they will also answer the question without reading it. It is possible that the respondent did not answer the questions asked to them and choose to answer the questions randomly. Furthermore, it is likely that respondents are not paying attention, and eventually they may not answer some of the questions posed to them. Therefore, some of the data need to be re-edited by the researcher. Okay, for the second limitation is difficulty to conduct questionnaire. It becomes difficult for us as a researcher to do research online. The distributions of questionnaire is very difficult to do because some factories in Bandar Baru Bangi have to close operations since the COVID-19 outbreak. Furthermore, our movement is severely restricted. So we had to get help from the Kacang department of the environment to provide the questionnaire that we had prepared to the factories under their supervisions. However, the response from the factory was a bit slow and the data collected was very limited. Okay, for the third limitation is a lack of research studies on the topic. The review of previous literature is an important part of almost any research project, since it helps to identify the nature of the work that has been done in the subject of studies. Relevant topic that can be used to meet the researchers' aims. Since researchers have to use a journal whose years is not less than 2015, it makes the limitation of information on the effectiveness of OSHA. Not many researchers have done the research on this topic before. If there is it is a study that has been done for a long time ago. So it was a challenge for us to continue the study with this title, as we were unable to identify the suitable reference journal for use in the literature review.
To conclude everything, this research is being conducted in order to determine what elements that contribute to the effectiveness of OSHA in the manufacturing area of Bandar Baru Bangi. Furthermore, there are three aspects that can be contributed to the effectiveness of OSHA, which are training, knowledge, and the workplace environment. This aspect has the potential to influence the effectiveness of OSHA in either a positive or a negative way. And as a result, the OSHA Act can be improved and used to protect the workers who are exposed to a variety of health and safety hazards at their workplace. Okay, that is all from us. Thank you so much.